Thanks. You know what? Actually, I'm coming so much prepared with the notes, with all the diagrams, everything, because this is just 1 hour class and you will have to, I will have to complete so many topics. So I come prepared with all the notes and all the diagrams because it will be easy and it won't be time wasting for you guys for this 1 hour. So I do my homework and then come to the class. So I expect the same from you. Probably whatever the assignments are given, go through it. First thing, have a revision of the class. Go through what has happened in the class. Okay. Second thing is complete all the tasks performed in the class. And third one is if there are any take-home assignments, probably complete those assignments as well. This is how you get more hands-on on Salesforce, and by end of this complete classes, probably you will be able to do everything on your own. And that is what the expected thing out of this class is all about. Okay. And probably you will be able to answer any type of questions related to Salesforce as an administrator, as a developer, or, probably you will be able to answer any type of interview questions on the basic Salesforce. Maybe not the experience, but yes, if you follow the classes completely, probably you can be, up to a level of 2 years of experience to Salesforce guy. Okay. To that level, you have all the knowledge being shared on these classes. All right. So we talked about the data management tools. So data management and data migration, why we use data migration, data management within Salesforce, and how can we achieve those using different tools. So page layouts, we can perform operations only on one single record. Apex programming, yes, we can do it through programming. So we have a limitation, Garner limits. All right, almost like we do this, but we have got another simple tool which we usually do in our real-time scenario, which I'm going to explain today. Okay, so here in Apex, we have a limitation on DML. Each DML statement can process maximum of 10,000 records only at a time. And then we have talked about data import wizard, which is only used for importing the data from an CSV file to our Salesforce org. So we can import the data. So data import will process maximum of 50,000 records at a time. Okay. So this is, and it supports only, all the custom objects and only 5 standard objects, not all the standard objects. So this is the drawback of data import wizard. And data export is another feature which is available within Salesforce. So it is used to export the records from the Salesforce org. So we can export the data from Salesforce. This is majorly used whenever we need a kind of backup or whenever we need to analyze the data. Probably this feature is used. So it can export multiple objects data, and it works on all standard and all custom objects. So next comes our most important feature. So we have all these tools. If we look at, we have only addressing only few tasks. So when we say data import wizard, it works only for imports. When we say data export, it works only for exports. When we say Apex programming, we can do it, but there is a limitation on the Garner limits. And page layouts, it's only single record. And a few of them works only on one object at a time, right? So these are the drawbacks of all this. So in the real-time scenario, we have another important tool called data loader tool. So which is where we are going to use in a day-to-day basis on our any real-time projects, in the real-time scenario. So whenever if you are asked a question in the interview, how you are doing the data migrations, or how you are handling the data migration, how you are um, managing the data, you can answer the question saying yes, we do it with the help of data loader tool. So we do data migration with the data loader tool. Okay, so mention this tool name and then you can give the example which I'm going to explain shortly. Okay, so this is one other important tool which Salesforce has provided, and yeah, unfortunately it is not uh, on-demand tool. It's an on-premise tool. Okay. So data loader is an on-premise tool. It's a client application which requires installation inside the local device. So we need to explicitly install this particular tool on our local device, desktop. Okay, maybe a Windows one, maybe a Mac one. Yes, you will have to install the data loader tool and then only you can make use of it. So by using the data loader, we can perform the below operations. So up to now, we were dealing only few operations of this list of 7 operations. Okay, but by using the data loader tool, we can perform all the 7 operations: insert, update, delete, export all, upsert, and hard delete. Yes, we are going to talk in detail of all these operations. So yeah, I will explain what's the difference between each of them. So in order to install our data loader tool, so we have a few prerequisites. So in order to use, so we will have, in order to install the data loader, we have to install JDK 11.0 version inside our local device, which, it's actually usually available on your system because you would be doing some or the other kind of programs. Uh, yeah, that's the JDK 11.0 Java Development Kit from the Oracle side. Why Oracle? Java was initially with Sun and now it's with Oracle. So yeah, from Oracle side, we will have to download this JDK 11.0. Yeah, and there is another security patch which is called Zulu, which may be required to install. So it depends on your system, whether your system is already using some kind of tools. So probably this JDK 11 should have been there. If not, you can explicitly install this. So by using this data loader tool, we can perform both import and export operations on the Salesforce objects. Okay. So it supports, again, this is one important thing. It supports all the standard and custom objects of Salesforce, right? And all the standard objects and on all the custom objects, we can perform all these 7 types of operations: insert, update, delete, export all, upsert, and hard delete, right? So all this we can perform on all the standard and all the custom objects. And there is a small note. So so here we have a limitation of in other tools like see, data import wizard can process 53,000 records at a time. And through Apex programming, if we are using DML statement, it can make use of only 10,000 records at a time, right? So there are few limitations. Similarly, we have a small limitation. I wouldn't say it's a limitation because it can process maximum of 5 million records. 5 million in the sense 50 lakh records. Okay. So why there is a limit this way is if you go, yeah, there is a limitation on our Excel, right? So if you go and create, if you work on any Excel, so the maximum number of rows allowed is like 5 million rows. Okay. So that's the limitation on that Excel sheets, and that's the same limitation which we have in the data loader also. Okay, so we can process maximum of 5 million records at a time. And coming to data loader, it also supports .csv file formats. Okay. we have to supply the input to the tool in the form of a .csv file. Okay, let's go to our diagram.
Hey Dilip,
Yep.
I have a small doubt. So we already in the last class we already discussed about import wizard and export wizard, right? To
Yeah.
migrate the data. So what is the
Mhm.
difference between that and data loader?
There is no difference, only a few limitations on them that is being overcome in the data loader. We can use
Oh,
them. See, it is like based on our scenario. If we have less amount of data, if we have only uh, the backups needed, data export tool is the better one. We just need to download and we need to do the export. That's it. In case of backups, or in case of we need something to analyze our orgs data. So in that both cases, we can go ahead with export, data export. And data import, we can do only import, right? So these tools are like specific. We can do only one part of it. So if we just need to import, probably we can do that with the import tool, but there is a limitation of 50,000 records. So if our data, suppose, let's say, um, a big client has come to Salesforce and said, like, we wanted our we wanted to make use of the Salesforce features, and then we want to come to Salesforce. So in that case, they have like more than 50 million records. Okay. So in that case, do you think data import wizard is the best tool to use? No.
no, no.
So data loader is the best tool to use. So that's why in for smaller orgs, the import tool and export tool are better. But usually in any real-time scenario, it is like the orgs will be having at least 5 million records, at least 2 million records, at least 10 million records. Yeah, in a real-time scenario. So that's the reason we prefer to go ahead and use the data loader tool. Hope your question is answered,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
do you
Thank
still
you,
want?
thank you, thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
right. So let's talk about this data loader tool. So here is how a data loader tool. So we have this data loader tool, and we have uh, a .csv file with us. So with the help of our data loader tool, we are going to import. We are going to import this particular CSV data into our account object. Okay. So we have records like R1, R2, and so on. So till R500. Okay. So here, suppose I have a problem with R455 record. Okay. Problem when I say there is some data missing on it. Okay. So what happens to the data loader tool? Will it stop or what? Okay. So in data loader tool, we have a mechanism called partial processing mechanism, where this particular R455 record is omitted, and it will process the complete remaining records. Okay. So all other records will be processed, except that record R455 record, which is having some issues, which is having some missing data or some problems uh, within that particular row. Okay. So yes, what our data loader tool will do is it will process all other records except that particular single record. Yeah. So it's called partial processing mechanism. So omit the error one, error record, and then proceed with the remaining records is what called partial processing mechanism. Okay. So we are going to import this particular data of accounts into our account object. So we can do that using the data loader tool. And similarly, we can export whatever the records present in our account object. We can export them through our data loader tool into a .csv file. We can create, the output would be a .csv file. Okay. So here, if you see, yeah, so what happens is and whenever we make use of the data loader tool, so we have two files getting generated. So one of them is success file, one of them, the second one is error file. So and both these files are again .csv file format files. So the success file will have all the records which has passed, which has been, when we are doing import, it has successfully imported. Okay, that particular record. So it will have all the success records. Error file will have the records which are not processed. So when we were talking about R55 record, right? So it is having some kind of missing information, and that's the reason it was not able to pass through our data loader. So the error file will give us that particular information, like why, which record has been missed, or which record has not been passed through our data loader tool, or which was not uploaded properly into our Salesforce org, and why it is not properly done. So the reason is also it is going to give in our error file. Okay. So after performing the load, so we usually say loading, okay? Loading in real time. So whenever we do a load, so we will have to, after completion of the load, we will have to go ahead and look at these two files, success file and error file, especially the error file. So, and both the files you make sure, and you will have the count of records, right? So how many 500 records you have sent. So in the success file, I have 499 and one in the error file. Yeah, all the records are good. Error file record, what happened, why it was not processed. So that reason we will be checking it. So by we can check that, and you can manually do process that particular single record. So if you will be happy, right? Obviously, instead of doing complete upload of one by one record of 500 records, you're doing everything. Everything is being done by data loader tool, and only one error file or one error record which is there, we will have to do it manually. We can do it, right? So it's an easy job. So this is what a data loader tool is all about. We can do all those 7 operations. Okay, insert, update, delete, export all, hard delete, upset. So all these 7 types of operations we can perform on our data loader. Okay, so let's go to our nodes. Okay, so this is what, so data loader purely supports CSV file formats. Yeah, once the operation has been done, data loader will generate 2 output files, success file containing all the record information that has been processed successfully, error file, which is containing records information along with the failure reason. See, we will be having the reason as well in our error file. Usually the reasons will be like missing information, or for one of the required field, the information provided is not a valid information, something like that. So these would be usual reasons for the error record. So while processing this, as we said, data loader follows something called partial processing mechanism. It supports, yeah. So when I say partial processing mechanism, it is going to omit the records which are having some kind of issues here. And it also, see, let's say our data loader is working on 5 million records at a time, right? So all these 5 million records are going to be processed at a time through data loader? No. See, whenever we do the load through data loader, it is going to take some time. Okay, because this is how it has to process each and every record and each and every field in the record one by one. Okay, so for that processing, it usually takes supports something called batch processing. I mean, batches by batches. Let's say 5 million records. So batch by batch, it divides them into batches, and then it processes those records. So let's say an example like hope you all have had a breakfast or something. Okay, so let's say I'm going for lunch now after this class. So I go to some restaurant and order some food. Okay, so how I'm going to eat that food? Am I going to eat the complete food at a time, which is put on my plate? No, right? I'm just going to break it with my hands and then eat little bit and then a little bit, right? Not the complete food at a time. So similarly, all the data which we provide, data loader is not going to process it completely at a time. It is going to break that data into batches and perform operation batch by batch. Okay. So it supports batch processing internally by using of two APIs. So API means application programming interface API. So it performs the batch programming by making use of these two APIs. One is Apex API, the other one is bulk API. Okay. So by default, it is going to use Apex API. So it's the default one if we don't mention it. But if we want to process it using bulk API, we can change some settings and then yes, we will ask the data loader, go ahead and use the bulk API and you can process the records. So here, the batch size is clear, mentioned for each API. So minimum batch size for Apex API is 1, maximum batch size is 2000, default batch size is 200. Okay, so these values are fixed. So let's say our data is like medium sized data. So in that case, we can just go ahead with Apex API. Let's say our data is a huge size data. So in that case, let's prefer go ahead and use our data loader tool with the help of bulk API, because bulk API is having minimum batch size 1, maximum batch size is 10,000, default batch size is 2,000. So maximum 10,000, right? At a time, 10,000 for one batch, 10,000 is gone. 10,000 records are gone and they have been processed by data loader. So depending on our requirement and our ops requirement, we would be making use of these APIs. Okay. Yeah. Uh, so data loader tool, as I said, it's a on-premise tool, right? So we will have to go ahead and install it in our local device. How we are going to get it? Salesforce has provided it. So you don't have to worry, go search some downloads and then download it. And you don't have to worry about that. Salesforce has given us the tool and we just need to go click there, download it, and then install it in our local device. Okay. So again, this is also part of Salesforce CRM. So it provides the data loader tool in two flavors. One is data loader for Windows and other one is data loader for Mac. So two flavors, Windows and Mac. If your laptop or desktop is Windows, go ahead and install Windows flavor. If your laptop or desktop is Mac, go ahead and install the Mac version. So how we are going to do that? Navigation. So go in the setup, go ahead and type in the quick find box, type data loader, go to that wizard, download the required flavor of data loader inside the device. Okay. So yes, let's go ahead and go to log into our org. Sorry. I've been working with multiple orgs. I'm not sure. Okay, this is other one. Yeah, just give me a minute. Let me log into my org. Okay. I logged into a different org. So let me share that. Okay. So here, how to go to our data loader tool? Just click on setup, and on the quick find box, type data loader. Okay, we have this data loader here. Click on this. See, we have the options. Data loader is a client application for bulk import, export of data. Use it to insert, update, delete, export sales for records. Okay, so I just want to go to downloads and see if that file is available. So you will have to select whether yours is Mac or Windows. I'm going with Windows. So it's giving the latest release data loader version. Okay, so you will have to download it. So here, if you see, you have the developer guide also. So if you face any problems on installing this particular data loader, you can go ahead and see the support. Okay, the instructions. And the help guide also is there, developer guide is there. You can just download and install it on your system. Okay. So this is how we will have to go ahead and download and then install the data loader. So data loader, So what I'm doing is actually I am trying to uh, show you the install as well. All right, actually, so what happening is this is my office laptop, so it was restricting for install of any other softwares. Okay, so okay, just a second, let me share the class. Okay, so this is how we go ahead and install. So what I would recommend you is try installing the data loader tool on your laptop or desktop based on the flavor which you have, Windows or Mac. And yes, we will be doing the practical session for performing all this type of operations on our by using making use of our data loader. Okay. So while performing the operations on Salesforce object, we have to log into the data loader tool first. So yes, this demo, I am going to show it in the next class, how we are going to log into the data loader tool. So usually we log in with the help of user ID and password from our Salesforce account. So, but there is an extra thing which we will have to do. So the data loader provides two types of authentication. One is open OAuth authentication, that is open authentication, which requires an access token, which can be generated integrating with the Salesforce authentication service. So this we are not going to do it on our developer or okay, because it is going to contact the Salesforce authentication servers. Okay, so what we are going to do is we will go with the password authentication. So with the password, by using this approach, we can log into data loader by using the Salesforce account details. One other thing is we will need to have the security token. Okay. So how we are going to generate the security token, that also we are going to discuss. So here we can see how our security token can be generated. So go to your Salesforce or click on profile settings, personal, and then reset. Okay. So let me show you how. So we are back on our org. So this is our profile icon. Okay. In the profile, there is something called settings just beside logout. Click on the settings. And here we can see reset my security token. There is something called reset my security token, right? You can click on that. This is a link, and you can click on this particular reset security token. So once you click on this, you will have a security token generated, and it will be, again, it won't be displayed here. It will be sent to your email. So whatever the org owner email ID will be the email ID, which it would be sending the security token. So while logging into the data loader, we'll have to give our Salesforce username, account username as the username, and password, Salesforce account password, plus the security token. Don't give the plus sign, just the password, and then followed by our security token. Security token will be like, it's a, again, a case sensitive. I'm sure it's more than 15 digits, combination of alphanumeric. So yeah, password you will have to give and followed by the security token. Then you will be able to log into the data loader. So in the data loader tool, actually, currently it's not allowing me to install on the local, but I have it on my office remote desktop. But I'm sorry, I couldn't show that now. But yes, tomorrow I will be showing it on the local laptop. So yeah, so how the tool looks like and what are the options we have in that tool, and we are going to work on each of those options like export, import, so insert, update, delete, export all, upsert, hard delete. So all these features we are going to work on our data loader tool. So yes, this requires one more class, which we are going to talk on the next class. Okay. So yeah, so let's. So when you say insert, it's a normal insert, right? So by using this button, so we will have all these buttons on our data loader tool, these 7 buttons. Okay. I'll show you tomorrow. So by using this button, we can insert either one or more records into Salesforce object. We need to supply the records information inside by in a form of a file uh, with .csv form. Okay. So if we need to insert some records, we need to provide a file with which is in the format of .csv, not .xls. It's .csv. Of course, CSV and Excel are like, looks like similar, but they are different. Okay, CSV is comma separated value. So when we need to update again, it's the same. So you need to have the we can update the existing records in the Salesforce object by using this option. Okay, so upon updating the record should be supplied along with the record ID. Here, one important point is, if we need to perform update, we will have to provide the record ID on our .csv file, because it is going to match the records based on the record ID. So yes, how we are going to do? Yes, we will be doing a practical demo in the next class. And coming to delete, so when we remove one or more records, we can remove one or more records from our object. So we need to have the record ID to remove the record ID. Once the record has been removed, the deleted records will, again, you know that, right? The deleted records will be sitting in the recycle bin. So yes, so we can perform the delete operation using our data loader tool with the help of so we will be performing delete operations, and here the main thing is we need the record ID again. So if we have the record ID, then we are going to perform the delete operation. And coming to export operation, so this button is used to either get we can export either one or more or all the records from the object. So upon fetching the records, we can add required users define conditions, right? See, here we have criteria also. So I don't want to export all the records. Suppose I have the account here and I don't want to export all the account records. I just want to export only the my account records, which whose rating is hot. So I can mention that criteria as well. Okay. So that option is also there in data loader tool. I don't want to, or else I can say I want to export only first 10 records. So yes, I can do that without mentioning any criteria by using the something called limit operator. Okay. Yeah. So export. Yeah, there are a few customizations which we can do on our operations, which we are performing on the data loader tool. So export all. This one is a little different from export. Okay. How it is different? So this return the specified object along with the deleted records. So yesterday we were seeing a field called is deleted. Have you seen that yesterday? Yes, we have seen. So there is a field called is deleted. So in the export file, we will not have that field. And in the export all file, we will have that field which mentions one, is deleted one. But that means uh, we have is deleted field also with few records having mentioning as one. That means that's a deleted record which has been deleted under 15 days. So it was there still sitting on our recycle bin. That's the reason this particular report will pull out even the records which are present in that recycle bin also. So that's the difference between export and export all. Okay. So if is deleted is true, then a record has been removed from the object. So yeah, when I say true, it is one. Okay. So if it is false, it's zero. So if the is deleted uh, field value is one, it's true. That means that particular record has been deleted from the object. If it is false, that means zero. That means that particular record is present in the object. So that's the difference of export and export all. And coming to upsert. So you would not have heard this particular word before, right? Insert, update, delete. Yes, in the SQL you would have heard about it, or in any kind other databases you would have, listened to it. But upsert is one different keyword within Salesforce. It performs both update and insert. So it's a combination of both these two operations. Update plus insert is called upsert. Okay. So by using this upsert, we can perform both the insert and update operations in a single attempt. So again, here, again, the criteria comes, right? So the records which are having the record IDs are going to be updated. The records which are not having the record IDs are going to be inserted. So if we perform upsert operation with a .csv file, so what is going to happen is if we have the record ID in our .csv file, then it's going to be updated. If there is no record ID in our .csv file which we are supplying, then it's going to be inserted as a new record. Okay. So that's the difference between this. So these two operations we can perform with the help of upsert. Again, why do we need this two and this one again separately? So we will have different scenarios within our org. So definitely we need all these three buttons. So sometimes we may need to make use of upsert as well. So most of the cases insert update will work, but some cases we may need to make use of upsert as well. So yeah, all these three are needed. And coming to hard delete. So what do you mean by hard delete? So the word, clearly says Hard delete, when I say what I can think of is complete delete, full delete, or something like that. I can think of it, right? So we can remove the records permanently from the Salesforce object. So yes, that means normally if we do delete, this particular deleted records are going to stay in our recycle bin for 15 days.
15 days.
But if we do a hard delete directly, these records are not going to be there in the Salesforce. So not even the recycle bin. So it's not going to sit in the recycle bin also. So that's the use of this hard delete. So by default, this hard delete button will be disabled on your data loader tool. So yes, we can enable that particular hard delete button by going through some settings on the tool. Yeah, I will show that in the tomorrow's class. Okay. So yes, this is all about today's class. We just talked about data loader tool. It's an on-premise tool again given by Salesforce. You don't have to worry where I have to download it. You just need to go to settings, go to the setup, and in the quick find box type data loader tool and click on that data loader tool, and you will have download option available. Go ahead and download it and try installing it based on the flavor which you have, like the operating system flavor, whether it's a Windows or Mac. Okay. So install it and login. It won't happen. Yeah, we will be doing it because it has this two options, right? So username and password with the security token. Okay. Yeah. Tomorrow I'm going to tell how to generate this security token. I already showed you, but you can do it with the, so Salesforce org, how you are logging in, see similar way. Data loader tool also, you will have to log in with the username, password. Then after the password, you just give the security token and then click login. So it will log in. There are different scenarios like why the security token is needed, when it is needed, or is there any option we don't need to uh, generate the security token? Yes, there is an option. Yeah, all those details. Yes, I would be explaining in the tomorrow's class. How to generate the security token also we have discussed. Yeah. So this is all about today's class, data loader tool. And this is actually very important tool which we are actually use it on in the real-time projects on a day-to-day basis, because we will be working on data mostly and we will be migrating data mostly. So in that case, we are going to make use of this data loader tool mostly in the real-time scenarios. So yeah, that is all for today's class.